A spectacular lunar eclipse is coming in March 2025, and here's everything you need to know. Hey everyone, if you love astronomy, stargazing, or just cool celestial events, then you're in for a treat because a total lunar eclipse is coming up in March, and it's going to be a must-see event. Now, we may not have a total solar eclipse in the year 2025, but we're getting something just as good. In fact, we're getting two lunar eclipses this year, which the first one happens on March 13th to the 14th, and if you're in North or South America, you're in prime position for seeing the entire eclipse from start to finish. Now, what is a total lunar eclipse anyway? Before we dive into the specifics of this event, let's quickly go over what a total lunar eclipse is and actually why it happens. A lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth moves directly between the Sun and the Moon, blocking sunlight from reaching the Moon's surface. Instead of going completely dark, the Moon takes on an eerie reddish glow because some of the sunlight bends around Earth's atmosphere and scatters. This process, called the Rayleigh scattering, is the same reason why sunsets and sunrise appear red or orange. When the entire Moon is covered by the Earth's shadow, we get something called a total lunar eclipse, or what many people refer to as a blood moon. Why is it called a blood moon? You've probably heard that term blood moon before, but does the moon actually turn blood red? Well, not exactly. The color depends on atmospheric conditions, such as dust, volcanic ash, or even wildfire smoke. Some total lunar eclipses appear a deep red, while others are more of a copper or even a orange shade. And here's something interesting, the same physics behind a red sunset or sunrise is at play here. Earth's atmosphere scatters blue light more than red light, so the only red and orange wavelengths make it through and reach the Moon's surface. Now, how rare is a total lunar eclipse? Unlike solar eclipses, which happen in a narrow path, lunar eclipses are visible from anywhere on Earth where the Moon is above the horizon. However, a total lunar eclipse doesn't happen that often. In fact, this will be the first total lunar eclipse since November 8th, 2022. And while there are two lunar eclipses in 2025, after that, we won't see another one until 2028. So if the skies are clear, don't miss the chance to witness it. Now, who gets the best view? Now let's talk about who will get the best view of this eclipse. If you live in North or South America, you're in luck. You'll get to see the eclipse from start to finish, meaning you can watch the entire event unfold over several hours. In the United Kingdom and parts of Europe, the timing isn't as ideal. The Moon will be setting just as totality begins, so you might only catch the beginning or the end of the eclipse depending on your location. And if you're wondering about the second lunar eclipse later in the year on September 7th to the 8th, that one will be best seen from areas of Asia. Unfortunately, North Americans will miss out on that one completely. Now, for the timeline of this event, if you're living in North America, here's exactly when to look up on the night of March 13th to the 14th. We are going to be using Eastern Daylight Time for a reference. The penumbral eclipse will begin at around 11:57 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which then the partial eclipse begins at 1:09 a.m. on the 14th. Totality will begin at around 2:26 in the morning, and the totality will last little over an hour, ending at about 3:31 in the morning. The partial eclipse will end at around 4:47, and the end of the entire eclipse will occur right at 6 a.m. Now, if you're not familiar with the different phases of a lunar eclipse, let's quickly break them down. For a penumbral eclipse, the Moon enters the Earth's outer shadow, known as the penumbra, and it starts to dim. This phase is very subtle and hard to notice with the naked eye, which then leads to the partial eclipse. The Moon starts to move into the darker center shadow, which is known as the umbra. This is when you'll start seeing a reddish hue appear. And again, of course, totality, which is the entire Moon is inside the umbra. This is the main event of the eclipse, and the Moon will turn a deep red, orange, or a copper color, for over an hour, which leads to the final stages. The partial eclipse ends, which is when the moon starts to move out of the umbra, losing its red color, which then leads to the penumbral eclipse ends, which is when the moon exits the Earth's shadow completely and its usually brightness returns. So how do you watch this eclipse? Well, one of the best things about lunar eclipses is it is completely safe to view with the naked eye. No need for eclipse glasses like we just had for the solar eclipse as of last year. If you want a better view, here is some tips. Use binoculars or a telescope. This will help you see the details of the moon's surface, including craters and color variations. Try astrophotography at your hand with a DSLR camera, mirrorless camera, or even a smartphone on a tripod to capture some incredible shots of the eclipse. And of course, try and enjoy from a darker sky. Since the moon's brightness is temporarily reduced during totality, you might notice more stars, constellations, and even the Milky Way. What makes this eclipse so special? Well, it's the first total lunar eclipse in over 2 years. Mars will also be close to the moon during totality, making for an awesome celestial sight. And to remember, North and South America will be getting the best view, meaning millions of people can enjoy it with clear skies. So, mark your calendars, March 13th and 14th, 2025. It's going to be an unforgettable night for sky watchers. Let me know in the comments if you plan to watch this lunar eclipse and where you'll be viewing from. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing space content.